It is finally here. I feel like we've been waiting forever. Brexit's here. What does it mean?
Oh, well, we shouldn't forget it means the first country to leave the European Union since it started, which is no small thing. And it's the third biggest economy in the European Union. So there'll be plenty of people in Europe who will be pretty sad about this moment. Obviously, Boris Johnson is not one of them. This is supposed to be a bright new moment for the UK. And it's fair to say there has been a bit of a Boris bounce in terms of investor sentiment. But, you know, as was indicated subtly by the Bank of England governor this week after the Bank of England decision, you know, the hard part starts now. It's almost the opposite of the coronavirus we've been talking about, where there's a very short-term hit to the economy. It's very visible. It inspires a lot of activity and action and concern. This has been a sort of drip slowing down of the economy ever since the referendum, which could well continue. We've seen actually one of our economists say the economy is already 3% smaller than it would have been if we had not voted to leave, and nothing has happened in terms of trade rules. And the Bank of England had some pretty grim forecasts for the economy over the next few years, partly as a result of Brexit when they had their meeting this week.
And you raised trade rules. There are so many relationships that have to be renegotiated over the course of, they think, 12 months. The chances of that, I'm not sure.
Well, and of course, the single most important one by far is the relationship with Europe, which even the quite sort of gloomy Bank of England forecasts assume a pretty deep, pretty good deal, which actually the European leaders have tended to say is not possible within 12 months. These things usually take years. So I think there's a concern about that. Of course, the government will say, well, we're going to have lots of deals with the US and China and elsewhere. You know, we worked it out. You need 7. If you want to make up the loss from having all the great situation of being in the European Union, you need 7 deals with the US. And unfortunately, there is only one US. So this is going to be tough.
And as you say, it is a sad moment, I'm sure, for the European Union. At the same time, one thing that was predicted or feared did not happen, which is sort of a run on the Union. We thought that all sorts of other people would say, OK, I want out too. We haven't seen any of that.
No, and actually, I think that the parting gift that the Brits have given to the EU is to provide an example for others which they realise they really don't want to follow. I mean, if you were thinking about possibly having a referendum or voting to leave the European Union anytime soon in 2016, you look and see the pain and suffering the UK has been through, the wrangling in Parliament. I mean, there is no government that will go down that road. And actually, we've seen European attitudes have become more positive towards Europe. So we've done them a favour. We've shown the value of the European Union, even as we leave.